game. It is the Lakers versus the New Orleans Pelicans. So come along with us and we're gonna have a good time.
Yay,
I'm on a
Gypsy's
billboard
on
in
a
Los
billboard
Angeles.
in LA. We just so happen to drive.
Drastically different with my hair. As you can see, my hair is about shoulder length right now, so I think I want to go shorter. Alright, so I'm in the chair right now and we're about to start cutting, and I will show you all the results when it's done.
Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Seamless magic just touching me, trick me. Just baby girl, you are so easily pretty. The only reason that I can go tonight is cause I know you were invited. The only reason that the stars can type is cause I thought that you would like it. I'm only gone for the sake of our signs, because I want you to like it. The only reason I can't do tonight is because I really like you, and I can never hide it. Want to remember your mind, the night just goes so get digest. Why just tell me that?
Rose Blanchard, and if you've read my book, My Time to Stand, then you will know that I have a rare genetic condition called microdeletion 1q21.1. What exactly is that? Okay, let's dive into that. So a microdeletion is when a small portion of a chromosome is affected, and in my case, it's region 1q21.1. I was first tested for this condition back in 2012, and then again late last year, just to confirm that the first results were correct. So think of it as a sliding scale. It affects the area between 145.4 and 147.8. So where do I fall on that? Well, I don't fall exactly on that number, and I'll explain. So my results are just a smidge different than the standard scale that we learn about. So I am affected through 145.927 through 147.828. So what does that mean? Okay, next slide. So again, thinking about it as a sliding scale, this is where microdeletion 1q21.1 begins, and this is where it ends. And this is my results. I'm slightly off of the standard here and here. So that small difference makes a big, big difference in my health, my physical appearance, and other health concerns. Microdeletion 1q21.1 puts those affected at a greater risk of developing autism. In addition to being at a greater risk for developing autism, these other health concerns may be correlated with this condition, such as seizures, muscular dystrophy, and mild mental delays. Another characteristic of this condition is having mild dysmorphic facial features. So going back to my memoir, I talk about how I believe that my mother was using this condition as a blueprint for some of the health concerns she claimed I had. So now knowing what we know about microdeletion 1q21.1, let's try to narrow down what I did have wrong with me versus what I didn't have wrong with me, and what is malpractice and what was actually necessary. The condition microcephaly is closely correlated with this condition. Microcephaly is something I actually do have. My head is smaller than the average. Muscular dystrophy is also something very common with this genetic condition. However, muscular dystrophy does not get better with time. It gets worse, as you can read. All forms of muscular dystrophy grow worse over time, and muscles progressively degenerate and weaken. So therefore, there's no possibility that I had muscular dystrophy when I was undergoing all of these surgeries. I have a scar on my right thigh from being tested for muscular dystrophy, and it came back negative. So again, if I didn't have it then and I don't have it now, I didn't have it. Therefore, the wheelchair was completely unnecessary. Now let's move on to dysmorphic facial features. So, I specifically have very distinct eyes. My eyes slightly slant, and that is the effect of the genetic condition. Epilepsy is a seizure disorder that is also very common with this genetic condition. However, I don't remember having any seizures growing up. That's not to say that it didn't happen, but I can say with certainty that I don't have a condition of seizures currently. So therefore, I don't have epilepsy. It is entirely plausible that I had epilepsy in my youth, my very young youth, but then I could have grown out of it. That is something that's entirely possible. Whether these seizures that my mother claimed I had actually happened, I'll never know. Moving on to strabismus. So it's a difficult word for me to say, but it just basically means cross-eyed. So my right eye, I was born with a lazy eye. They also call it a lazy eye. I've seen a lot of TikToks making fun of me for my eye, and I've grown increasingly self-conscious about it. So often I will put my bangs in front of my eye, just to kind of eliminate a lot of the teasing that I get for it. So this is something that I do have. I also want to put out there that it's not okay to make fun of people, guys. It's not funny. You wouldn't want it being done to you, so why do you do it to me? So this is a big one. So the feeding tube. So most people have a feeding tube put in if they are not getting enough nutrition and they are very, very, very sick. Also, if they have any of these other conditions or health concerns that could have led to them requiring one. So let's take a look at that. So I never had a stroke, never had dementia, never had a brain injury, never had head and neck cancer. And this goes back to the muscular dystrophy that we have already established that I never had and currently don't have. Therefore, making the feeding tube completely unnecessary, and this would fall in the lines of malpractice. So this is another big topic on the microdeletion. So people with microdeletion have a greater risk of developing developmental delays. As far as I know, I am not delayed in any way. I was not placed in public school and didn't have the traditional schooling that most kids grow up having. My mom did educate me via homeschool from ages, I would say like 4 to about 9 years old. And so that left me at like a 2nd grade education. And then the rest of my education going forward, I received within the Chillicothe Correctional Center, where I got my GED. Hypersalivation is when an individual produces too much saliva, therefore making it difficult to swallow as much saliva as they produce. This is something my mother claimed I had, which ultimately led to the removal of 2 of my salivary glands within my throat. As you can see, I still bear the scars on each side of my neck from the removal. These glands specifically are called submandibular, and that is located within this region. So how my mother got the doctors to operate and remove this gland is by putting Oragel on my mouth and therefore producing more saliva while I was at the doctor's appointment. And with those claims alone, they removed them, therefore making this malpractice. So unfortunately, with this particular operation that I had, it left me with a few lifelong problems. So problem 1 is I don't produce enough saliva like the average person would. so I don't produce the average, therefore making my throat extremely dry. So you will often hear me clear my throat like this. Also, my lips get very dry, so often I will lick my lips. Many people have made fun of me for it, and again, that's going back to it's not right to make fun of people for their health conditions, and I don't condone it, and it's just flat out not right. So, you see, I just did it. So, it's just how it is, it's unfortunate, and it's just something that I have to live with. So there's no specific reason listed in my medical records as to why I had dental extraction, but thank you to Peppermint Sage in Lake Charles. They did an amazing job on my teeth of restoring my teeth. This is a bottom bridge and this is a partial. Thank you so much. I have so much more confidence now. But again, this was completely unnecessary. This is just, that's just wrong on so many levels. The fact that dentists did this, not this, but this, without any medical evidence to back up why this was necessary, there's nothing to justify this in my medical records at all. So, that was unnecessary. This is just flat out no. No, I never had leukemia. So that was a claim my mother had, and no, I don't. My favorite baby products. This is not sponsored. I did buy these products myself, and I just want to review them and tell you guys how I like them and what to not spend your money on. Okay, so the first product I want to talk about is this. So this is a Baby Bliss pillow. So it's a feeding pillow. This is great for babies that have constant spit up or reflux. And so it is at a 15-degree angle. So babies tend to have, especially newborns, tend to have reflux or some form of spit up. And so usually when they're laying on their backs, the muscle in their esophagus is pretty weak at that age. And so they're not able to close that esophagus muscle so the milk comes back up. So this at least helps elevate them at an angle where it is safe and there's less spit up likely. I bought this and I use it all the time. I bought two actually. So one for my house in Cutoff and one for her nursery here at Ken's, and so this has just been like really good to have, and it is adjustable, so it can grow or it can be adjusted with the child's age, which is great. You have these little things on the back and you can adjust it to the height that you need it to be. It's great. Love this. Worth the money. Now we're going to talk about what this is. So this is the Owlet camera and smart sock. So the camera is supposed to pair with your phone, as is the smart sock. The smart sock, I would say, is an absolute must. I love. Oh, no, he's talking to me. He's talking to mommy. The Owlet sock is great. The camera, however, I had such a hard time pairing it with my phone that I don't even use this. And instead, I bought a VTech camera. Works so much better and it has the monitor. So this is pretty pricey for the sock and camera duo. This was like $400. And I only used the sock. So I felt like I really kind of wasted a lot of money on this with high expectations. Okay, so next is the Baby Brezza bottle sanitizer. This was a gift from our baby shower, and though it is nice, it's not exactly necessary. It doesn't wash the bottles for you. It does sanitize them, and it uses steam to do so. So it's nice, but not exactly necessary. So for stroller, we have an Argo Baby Deluxe Metro, and I did get a sunshade to go over it because personally I want to keep my baby's privacy as much as possible. So whenever we're going out in public, I really just don't want to risk people taking pictures of her, And so I bought this for privacy's sake, but it also is great as a sun protection. These are great to have. She wasn't very interested in it whenever we first brought her home to do tummy time. We used to put her here to do tummy time, and she really just wasn't interested in it at about 1 month old. But now that she's 3 months, she is starting to really like it. It has lights and sounds. Let's see. That seems to get her attention and makes her laugh. So for tummy time, we use this. This is a great pillow to have for tummy time. You lay them down in the middle and then prop them up on their elbows so they can build that head strength, their back and neck strength. Great. Okay, and lastly we have the Baby Brezza bottle maker. This is the Advanced Pro bottle maker. It is supposed to be Wi-Fi compatible, so you're able to make bottles from your phone. However, the app does not work. I've tried so many times to make the app work, and it just doesn't. So it's great for those 3 to 5 minutes that it takes to make a bottle. This spits out a bottle like that. So we use this and we keep it by the nightstand, by the bed. For those night feedings, it's great. Produces a bottle in seconds. It's really, really great at night. There are settings on it where you can go on the website and find out if you're using a certain type of formula. It will tell you what setting to put it on for that specific formula. This is an airtight container, so the formula does not get exposed to moisture. Yeah, so I really recommend this. You do need to clean it once a week, because if you don't clean it, it will be like clogged up and probably break. So be sure to clean it. But this is great, so would recommend.
All my bad decisions, I ain't ever looking back. I'm just saying good.
Dove's Crumble Cookie Collection. It smells good enough to eat. Delicious. This is a must-have for all girlies. So I am almost 4 months postpartum, and I think I'm experiencing postpartum hair loss or thinning. And so I've started to notice when I style my hair that around my temples I'm starting to get just really fine baby hair, but there is a breakage, lots of breakage in my hair. And I've noticed a lot of shedding in the shower. So I kind of looked into it, and it's really normal postpartum. So I just want to start with saying this is not a sponsored advertisement. This video is nowhere near any kind of sponsorship. I don't get paid. I bought this product myself at the store. So this is what I'm going to start doing. So I am going to start using hers minoxidil. 5%, and I think this is the foam. So I got that. I'm gonna start taking biotin, and then I also have hair thickening shampoo with biotin, as well as the conditioner. So I'm kind of hoping that this will kind of rejuvenate my hair a little bit better. Ever since I cut my hair short, I kind of just noticed these things a little more. Or maybe, you know, the shedding and the hair loss has been more recent. So I've heard a lot of good things about biotin. I've heard a lot of good things about hers. So I'm hoping that this works. I guess I'll see over the next 6 months. So in 6 months, I will tell you guys my results if this stuff really does work. Like I said, I don't know. This is my first kid, so this is all very new to me. So let's hope that it works and my hair will be thicker and fuller, and less shedding. So let's pray.